Okay, so you understand the basics of referencing and plagiarism. Now it's time to get serious and actually reference some things. You'll need a style guide to hand. Today we'll be referencing in MHRA style. You can find an MHRA style guide online at www.mhra.org.uk/style or visit the school library's intranet site for a simplified version. So let's get started. This one should be pretty simple. You want to reference a book. Go to your style guide and find the guidance for books. You may want to pause the video here to give you some time to complete the reference before I give you the answer. Ready for the answer? So you want to start with the author's name, first name and then surname, followed by a comma. Then you place the title in italics. The publication details come next. Put these in brackets. Give the place of publication followed by a colon, then the publisher followed by a comma, then the publication date. If you were writing this in a footnote because you'd quoted from page 2, you would then add p.space2. But here you're asked to reference the entire novel as if it was in a bibliography, so we just end the reference with a full stop. Now that wasn't too hard, so let's move on. Here you want to reference an edited book. This is slightly different. Find the entry in your style guide for an edited book. Pause here to complete the reference before checking the answer. Ready for the answer? So an edited book is slightly different. This book is not by Robert Frost. It contains the work of Robert Frost because he wrote the poems, but he wasn't the person who chose what selection of his poems to include, what order they were presented in, how they were formatted, if they were supplemented by commentary, what was said of the poems in the introduction. And there's another layer of meaning to the work that's added in that process, so we give that attribution to Ian Hamilton, the editor. So in MHRA format, we start with the title in italics, followed by a comma. We write ed.by Ian Hamilton to show it's been edited. We add the publication details in brackets, starting with the place of publication and a colon, then the publisher and a comma, and then the year of publication, ending with a full stop. So here's something different again. Cambridge Companions Guides are collections of criticism from multiple authors arranged into different chapters. We're imagining you've read the chapter on Canadian literary criticism. Find the section in your style guide for chapters or articles in books. Pause here to complete the reference before checking the answer. Ready for the answer? We prioritise what we've read, so we start with the author of the chapter, followed by the chapter title in single quotation marks, followed by a comma. Then we write in and give the title of the book in italics, ed.by, edited by the author of the book. The publication details come in brackets, and here we give the page numbers of the chapter using pp. For multiple pages. Okay, that probably required a few more brain cells. Let's move on. Here we're back to an edited book. We've done this before, so it should be relatively straightforward. Let's take a look at this in more detail and write the reference together. We start with the title, followed by the editor. We move on to the publication details. The publication details are shown here. You usually find them in the front few pages of the book, but sometimes they're at the back. There's a lot of information here. We can see that it's been published in the USA as well as Great Britain. This copy was printed in Great Britain and we have the address in London at the top of the page. We then have many publication dates, ranging from 1979 to 1987. We also have some copyright dates, beginning with 1934. We have over 30 dates here in total. So which date should we list in the reference? You're actually looking for the most recent date. Why? Well, it's pretty simple. You need to reference the actual book you're using, not a previous version of a book, which might look quite different with different page numbers or a different introduction. Think about what this publication information is doing. It's telling you about when a book was published. It's not going to tell you that a book is going to be published at some point in the future. No one knows that, so all the previous dates are books in the past, and the most recent date is for the current book, the book you're looking at. So here's the correct reference. Okay, here's another reference that's similar to one we've done before. Here we need to reference a chapter from a Cambridge Companions book again. This time it's an e-book. Pause the video while you follow the link bit.ly/Atwood-humour to view the e-book and find the section on ebooks in your style guide. Ready to have a go? This is the e-book. All the information you need is here. Like before, we start with the author of the chapter and the chapter title. So that's Marta Dvorak and Margaret Atwood's humour in single quotation marks. That's in the Cambridge Companion to Margaret Atwood, written in italics, edited by Coral Ann Howells. We put the publication details in brackets and give the page numbers. Then at the end of all of that, we add ebook. Here it is in full. Okay, we're nearly done. This one's a little different. MHRA was created in 1918 in Christ's College, Cambridge. YouTube didn't exist. The MHRA do give brief guidance on how to reference something from social media, but they're not especially prescriptive because it's a rapidly changing medium. You have to interpret the guidelines yourself to a certain extent. We've provided examples of best practice in our guide on the intranet site, but let's have a go at this ourselves. Pause the video while you visit the link bit.ly/crashcourse-sonnets. You'll notice that Crash Course is a YouTube channel. It has many different courses on YouTube. This one is Crash Course Literature. The episode is called Shakespeare's Sonnets. Do a little digging and you'll see that it's created by John Green. So here's what I think would suffice as a reference. It's an episode, so it's similar to a book chapter. Start with the creator's name and a comma, single quotation marks for the title as given, and another comma. In Crash Course, written in italics. Replace the publication information with the online publication information. The format for that is as follows. Give the web address in triangle brackets. You can find that by clicking the share button. And then give the date you most recently accessed the web page in square brackets. Remember, you have to give enough information for someone to be able to find it themselves. And you also need to give the date accessed, so that if the web page disappears or is amended, someone can trace back to what it looked like on the date you give. When referencing social media, you won't always have the same information, but the key is to try to maintain consistency. Always give the creator, the title of the item used, any additional information you might need to find the item, give the stable URL, the web address, and a last accessed date. If in doubt, ask your local librarian. Okay, so one last question. Remember that your bibliography should always come at the end of your work, preferably on a new page. All items should be listed in alphabetical order by author's surname. Take a look at this and tell me if you think it's in the correct order. You may want to pause here to take a closer look. Okay, so we've got FUR, Front Row, an organisation that stands for an author, Harrison, the Met. We don't have an author for the Bible, so we use the N in the title. Next comes Rasmussen, then Sandler, then not Whiteread, but Silverlock. Whiteread is part of the title. Silverlock is a director and is treated like an editor. Then we have Skidmore, Smithson twice, so we go by publication date order. Now don't be fooled, the first publication date isn't the 14th of July 1972 when the interview took place. It's given in the brackets and it's 1996. This is later than the second Smithson reference, so the order is wrong here. It should list the writings of Robert Smithson before the interview. Then we have Turner and Whiteread, which are in the correct order there. So yes, there is one entry in the wrong place. Well spotted if you found it. That was tough. Some of the more keen-eyed among you may spot a few more different errors here, but I'll leave it there for now. Congratulations! For an introduction to referencing, I admit that was not easy. So a big well done for sticking with it and making it to the end. If you manage to reference all of those correctly, then you truly are a referencing master. If you struggled, don't worry. It all becomes easier the more you do it. After writing a few bibliographies, you'll find you get into the swing of things. It's not the most exciting part of research, but it's often an easy way to pick up a lot of marks in an assignment, so the rewards are pretty good.